Some big Diddy news this morning as two documentaries are competing to reveal damning evidence against the disgraced mogul, including the fact that his mother did what? Also, we got some big important trial news you're not going to miss. Welcome to Popcorn Planet's Diddygate coverage. I am Andy Signore, and we do have some Diddy updates for you. It's been a minute, but I want to talk about the most important thing, which is this enterprise letter that we previously talked about, the letter that the prosecution must, the government, Homeland Security, feds, they must provide to give Diddy his opportunity to finish, prepping his case. But will also be the first time we get to actually see who else is going to be mentioned in the alleged racketeering charges, etc. They had pushed for the date to be later in March, but the judge has now replied and said, no, it needs to be ready on February 1st is the date for the enterprise letter right there. That's a big important date because that's the date this information will finally come out. Diddy will get more. Now, it's unclear how fast we'll get that letter or if things will be blacked out of the letter, but this will be the first time that we'll get some actual real new information from the government about what they're going to be doing against Diddy. Because again, don't forget, the trial is on May 5th. Diddy does get to have some time to prep once the government has given everything, and they've taken their sweet time and given it as late as they're allowed to legally. But that will give him, February, April, March, right? February to April, April to March, February to March, March to April, April to May. He'll have 3 months. Thank you. I know it's a little early still. He'll have 3 months to prepare the case, which, again, not a lot of time, but speedy trials, they're all going to be trying to race to get this across the mark. Now, speaking of racing to get things out there are now two documentaries that are being faced. The Fall of Diddy, a documentary event, a 4-parter on the ID network, but also streaming on Max. And then we also have the Peacock original, Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy, coming out January 14th. So they're going to be out first. This one's going to be out on the 27th. So two competing Diddy documentaries. We were looking at trying to do one of our own, but clearly everyone and their mother is trying to make a Diddy documentary. I want to just make something that's going to be repetitive like everybody else, but we do have some interesting revelations coming from these documentaries. Now, speaking about this first one, Investigative Discovery, True Crime Network, behind Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, they are now teasing The Fall of Diddy, a 4-parter that will dig into the life of Sean Diddy Combs as he sits in jail. It's set to air over 2 nights, January 27th and 28th, promising to probe allegations of SA and all that. From Rodney, Little Rod Jones will be in it, former producer of Combs. Thaya Graves, a woman who alleged Diddy AR'd her in 2001 before threatening her in silence. And former Vibe magazine editor-in-chief Daniel Smith, who talks about the behavior towards her. Also interviews on the ID and Max series from a former personal driver, a one-time chef, an early publicist, and makeup artist Malaya Morales, who says she witnessed Combs do things to Cassie. It will also apparently reveal his 2024 mugshot. I'm unclear how a TV documentary is going to be the first one that gets it. That's kind of strange. It'll also feature our own Natanya Griffin, victim of the infamous 1999 a New York nightclub. As we know, Natanya is going to be on there. The dopest nerd. Nice to see her getting her story out there. So that one's coming. That one's interesting. Apparently, The Fall of Diddy, now I'm mixing. Yeah, The Fall of Diddy will also feature Dee Woods from Danity Kane. Other members have spoken out from Danity Kane, but this will be the first time we'll hear from Dee Woods. This is separate from the NBC Peacock documentary. There's a separate one. As I just showed you, Diddy Making of a Bad Boy. Now, in this one, in the Diddy of the Making of the Bad Boy, that's where we've learned from a source, from a friend, that Diddy's mom, Janice, would often throw wild parties at the future mogul's home, where it wasn't common to walk into a room where adults were having relations. One of Combs' longtime child friends says in the documentary. Now, this is hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. That's what we were privy to. This is what we were fed. As we go in here and look at the details coming in from Tim Dog Patterson, this is what we're fed is that, adults doing these things in his mother's house. Yeah. Anyway, I've always been asked the question, why? I don't know the answer to why, but I truly believe it all goes back to childhood. Now, Sean Combs and Janice Combs did not respond to comment. But the documentary goes into his childhood and early adolescence, speaking with Mount Vernon friends and early Uptown Records colleagues, Howard University classmates, etc. Combs grew up in Mount Vernon, suburb of fringes of Upper Manhattan. His father, Melvin, was murdered in 1972, a known associate of some substance kingpins in Harlem. Janice kept the details of Melvin's grisly murder from her son, intent on providing him a better childhood, dressed him up to the nines. He looked like a rich kid. But his peers could smell he was not tough. He was badly bullied as a kid. Meanwhile, at home, there was always things going on, adding that Janice would frequently throw parties at the home. On the weekend, Combs partied in the house, and we did a lot of that. He was around all types of alcohol, reefer smoke, addicts around. Look at that, actual types of people, pimps, etc., pushers. This was just in our own house. People that attend the parties were from Harlem, from the streets. It wouldn't be a thing. It wouldn't be a thing to mistakenly walk into one of the bedrooms and, there's a couple in there not wearing any clothes. DJ Lee Davis, also a Mount Vernon native who was close to Combs and spun for Mary J., noted that while he never attended Janice's parties, he had heard rumors about what had occurred at those parties where everyone was welcome. Janice had cool little chicks that would come around, and she made sure everybody was comfortable, Davis explained, laughing. Now Combs has admitted to this in a way of saying that he used to watch softcore films and lose his V card at 12, and he would replicate the moves he was watching in some of these films. I was acting just like the adult stars act. I was, I don't know how to say that. It was doing things, okay? He told Vibe magazine in 1999, I didn't do it on my own. She wanted me to smack that, the butt. I flipped her over because I saw it in the movie, and then she told me to do it again. The documentary includes interviews with Albie Shore as well, who opens up for the first time about his acrimonious decades-old relationship with Combs after the executive aggressively pursued model Kim Porter. So that'll be very interesting to see Albie Shore speaking up. Also speaking out for the first time, the band star Sarah Rivers, who details an unsettling experience with Combs while filming the MTV reality show Making the Band. I haven't said anything in so long, she said through tears. So two big documentaries that are planning to reveal a lot of new details about the mogul, disgraced mogul. And so this will be very interesting to see how these perform, if people are still following this case. Are you guys still following this case? Or are we all just waiting for the trial dates? Now, as for the trial dates, here they are. This is when things will happen. This is what matters the most as we get ready for that upcoming trial. And you can see them all there as the judges now set it in. So it's happening. It's still moving as planned. It'll be interesting to see if anybody tries to stall this or come up with a reason not to. But if all goes the way it's moving, we will still see this trial happening on May 5th. So make sure, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe, because we're going to figure out our way to cover it. We're still looking for reps out in New York who want to cover it with us. So if you have access going to these courts, hit us up. We'll be getting some people to be reporting for us exclusively from that courtroom. So open call. If somebody can show us that you know how to do it, you're professional, we'll pay you too. I want to make sure we get some people who are in that courtroom helping us cover this the best possible, because it will not be televised, annoyingly. So we'll need to figure out other ways to do it. So let us know. Appreciate you guys watching. We got a lot more coming for you. Stay tuned here on Popcorn Planet.